Hello, all. How are you? And welcome to another exciting Tuesday, Christina's favorite day of the week. I say it every week. So if you're tired of it, I don't know what to tell you. I say it every week because it definitely is. I love being here with you guys, love sharing in the moment and just sharing with our guests and also our audience who always come on and support us and constantly show us love. I'm in the spirit of the holidays. Que bonito, que bonito. I love Christmas. I love everything that has to do with the holidays because it warms my heart and makes me think of my grandmother. So today I decided to sit in front of my tree to give us some Christmas ambiance. You see our backdrop looks a little Christmassy. We are in the season, folks. We have so many amazing things going on because we are in the season. So please stay till the end so that you can hear all of our announcements. As per always, a reminder why we are here every week. If you see the number that should be crawling across the screen, you can dial it at any time if you were looking for you or someone you love who is dealing with domestic violence at 1-800-799-7233. That is the number to the domestic violence hotline. And they are here every day, 24 hours a day to service you, a friend, or even a foe, anyone who needs that support. You can also reach us at loveshouldnothurt.com, but we will have a new website shortly. So if you cannot reach us through the website, please reach out to any of our social media platforms, social media, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. I'm trying to think of all of them. There's so many, and I'm not young. I forget. Reach out to us there if we do not get a response from our website. Within 24 hours, remember, you can dial 911 or call the number on that screen. The last time we were here, we were celebrating Thankful Tuesday. We were talking about everything that we're thankful for in the holiday season, and we had some amazing Latinas, some fiery Latinas, and I was super excited to share the screen with so many people. If you missed it, check us out on YouTube. Tonight, I get to share the screen, and not often do I get this opportunity with my executive producer, who is actually one of my biggest support systems and has been my number one side by side since day one when Love Shouldn't Hurt began. He's super supportive, but he loves to stay behind the screen. And tonight, we're bringing him on screen to do another Let's Keep It Reels. So much of social media today impacts our lives, whether it's messages, whether it's stories, whether it's a laugh, whatever it is. I don't know about you, but I start my day on my phone. Not always a great thing, but social media has captured so much of our attention, whether it's through happy moments, sad moments, or the worst moments of our lives. So tonight we're going to do the third part of Let's Keep It Real. We're going to show you some different reels and TikToks that have touched our heart and speak of our opinions. If you are a part of our audience, please join in the show tonight. Give us your thoughts and your opinions. We'd love to interact with you. So let's just bring him on so he can be here. I know he hates this, but Ray, come on out so that the people can see you. You like hiding. You like hiding, but I don't like when you hide. Welcome.
I'm super excited to be here. So definitely, it's let's just go for it.
Let's just go for it. Let's go for it. Hello, Dorothea. We see you. Thank you for being here with us tonight. So listen, Ray, I love Let's Keep It Real, but let's be honest. This was your idea almost a year ago. We were talking about how much social media impacted us. And well, start the show because I have no idea what you're going to show, but I know that whatever it is, we're going to have some opinions on it.
So just bear with me. I'm talking about everybody because I'm going back and forth doing everything. Today, as you can see, I had already a mishap when Christina said the number should be scrolling on the bottom. Since I'm usually ready mentally now, this time around I'm with you.
That's what happens when you're live.
So here we go. Let's go in for the first one.
All right.
7. The average number of times a woman goes back to the man that abused her, and the average number of times the world fails her with phrases like, "I don't believe you," or "at least he didn't hit you." 7. The average number of times a woman returns to hell because instead of trying to understand her, we condemn her for escaping. Because instead of asking questions, we ask her to stay silent in the name of keeping the peace. 7 times she has to learn that people don't take sides, that speaking out against his lies won't open people's eyes, and the number of times she learns to dismiss her experience because the rest of the world isn't brave enough to see it. 7 times there's a chance she doesn't get to try again. 7 times she goes back to the place she should be praised for leaving, and 7 times she has to fight for support when she's fighting just to stand. 7 times we teach her to return instead of teaching ourselves how to save her. 7 times we teach abusers that their actions don't have consequences, because 7 times we'd rather side with them than admit that the reason a woman returns to the man she should see as a threat is because instead of stepping in to protect her, we try to stay out of it. Instead of understanding the battle she fought to walk out that door, we tell her the war wasn't real. 7 times. The average number of times a woman goes back to the man that abused her because we don't yet understand that by not picking a side, we pick his. And I will not be silent until these men no longer benefit from the ways we fail these women 7 times.
Absolutely. I know exactly what I feel because I speak from personal opinion. Give me your take on what that video says to you, Ray.
It just seems that as much as we try, I'm gonna say for guys and ladies and gentlemen, as much as a person tries, we always tend to have that something in the back of our heads, always wanting to say it's okay. Um, it'll get better.
Hmm.
I forgive this person.
Hmm.
Um, and we do that even with friendships. We do this with relationships, friendships, family. Um, and it's a shame because of what we shouldn't just focus on the it's okay, but as in into our mental health. One of the things that, um, and Chrissy, since I know your story, and many people do not know your story, um, can you give us how long is 7 years or more?
So they use the number 7 because they felt as though those are the number of times a woman can try to leave, the number of times women can try to, run away from the situation, 7 times going back. I think that's a good number to display, but I think in all honesty, when we think back to our feelings and what it is that we're dealing with and we're going through, that number can get bigger and bigger, and more time can go. 7 times, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, because we think that if we run away from it, we might need them, so we go back. Or we feel like I'm gonna leave them today because my mom says I can do this, my sisters say that I can do this, my friends say that I can do this. I don't think I'm ready, but they asked me to leave, and then I go back. There's so many different reasons why women leave and then go back. People don't understand that. People are always trying to figure it out and constantly, hello, Margie, constantly are trying to put a number. So I see 7 and I see that people are like, yes, I lived that. I understand it. But if I think back to my life, I probably left my initial abuse maybe after like 20, 25 tries. I was with this person for 6 years and, it never got easier. 7 times going to the hospital, 7 times saying I'm going to leave and I'll be back. There's not really a number that can be placed on it, but I see within her eyes and how strongly she means it, the pain that a lot of people feel and a lot of people experience. Because at some point you got to say, all right, I have to leave. I have to get out of this situation. I have to get out of this circumstance. But you hear how she says 7 times you try, 7 times you try, because you can say that you're going to leave your abuse today. Because there's so many people who are like, oh my God, I would never. The first time they hit me, I'm out. God bless you. And I hope that if this ever happens to you, that's exactly how it happens. They hit you the first time and you leave. But that is not always the case. 7, 8, 9, 10 times I can leave, but I may go back because I'm scared, because my kids are there, because he finances me, because if I don't, he's going to put a gun to my head. There's so many reasons why people just don't understand. So all of these videos, I'm sure tonight, are going to impact me in a different way because of my story. I left almost 20 times before I finally decided to leave.
How do you feel? How many times do you feel that you were saying it's okay? It's I'm going. It's gonna better. It's gonna better itself. This is just for now. What do you feel like that you noticed? That's when you had that little click and saying this is not going to work. But how many times do you feel that it happened?
Say that again.
Sorry. So how many times do you feel that you said it's going to be okay? It's not going to happen again. It's gonna better itself. And what made you wake up and say, I have to do this now, today?
So the first time he hit me, I think after the typical, I'm going to change, it's going to get better. I think maybe in the first year, every single time he hit me, I was like, it'll get better. Because in that first year, I was still trying to comprehend, is this, you have to think about my
It's really
abuse.
happening.
Yeah, this was my first like real relationship out of college and high school because my mother was strict. So this was like my real first boyfriend. So for me, it was like, we got to work through this. It'll get better. So every time he would come back and be like, listen, I was just angry. I was in a bad mood. I'm sorry. I would always say, oh, it's going to be okay. It's going to be fine. That was in the first year. But in all honesty, I think after the first year, I realized this is never going to get better. But what else do I have? I might as well live in this. I might as well stay because this is all who wants me right now. And that in itself, too, is another part of the manipulation that I was going through because he was making me believe you're lucky to have me. Nobody else wants to be with you. So that also made me stay. But I think in the first year, every single time he hit me, then after, I always believed it'll be okay. It'll be all right because he would make me feel like it would be all right. Typical coming back with flowers or kissing you at night and hugging you and telling you, babe, I'm sorry. It'll never happen. I was just angry. You're going through so many of the motions of what you went through that you have no idea. Will this get better? Should I give him a chance? This was the first time. This was the second time, but he was angry. Oh, he was in a bad mood today. We put excuses up. So maybe the first time, every single time, I believe the first year. After that, I kind of already knew nothing was going to get better, but I was complacent where I was.
You ready for that second one?
Sure.
Now, I'm going to change it up a little. And a good friend of mine likes these videos. So I thought about her as soon as I saw this video.
Healing is weird. One day you're doing okay, and you're just fine. Other days, it still hurts like it just happened. It's a process without a definitive time frame. You just have to keep going and know that when it's all said and done, you're going to be okay.
So when I saw this, he's very motivational. I don't know if you really get to see it, all his videos and things like that. He's very super motivational, and the process that you went, did you feel that you were going to be okay? Like
Could
when you first got out and just got out, did you feel that, you know what, I'm going to be okay, or did you have that doubt inside?
So the first time I finally was truthfully gone, or when I left the first time and then went back? Which one?
When everything is done.
When everything is done. Did I think everything was going to be fine?
Hmm.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I had years of saying to myself that I was going to leave this situation, that I was going to leave my discomfort and my fear. And I finally did. And, the reality is that once you leave, that's the hardest part. People think going through the abuse is the hardest part, but the hardest part is when you finally are done and leave for good. Because now comes, what do I do? Will this person come after me? Will they find me? Will they kill me? Will they hurt the people that I love? How do I stay away from them? So easy answer, absolutely not. And that's what we're all feeling at that time. And I say that all the time, that I encourage people to not feel discouraged, to not feel worried, and to not feel like, oh my God, this can't be done because you're scared. That is a natural feeling. When you finally take that step and you make that decision, you're going to feel like there is nothing you can do. Oh my God, it's not going to get better, but it will. You just took the biggest step. And each day that you stay away, it's going to get easier. Each day.
It's just sometimes we need that encouragement, that push from. Sometimes we just need to hear it.
Mhm.
I mean, I know that you were very silent, and you felt like you had to be very silent because of certain threats and things like that, to your life and to those that you loved.
Mhm.
But how do you feel that right after those first words of somebody that was there for you? How are those first words that friend went, I'm here, you're going to be okay? How did those words, how did they resonate with you?
Well, to be totally honest with you, my first words didn't come from a friend.
Okay.
My very first words, you're going to make me cry. My first words came from my grandmother because she had no idea what I was running from. She had no idea why I just showed up at her home pregnant. And I was like, hey, can I move back in? Um, and she had no idea what was going on. But as per her usual self, she knew exactly what to say to calm me. And I always say that this show is not politically drawn. It's not spiritually drawn. But, as soon as she saw me, something within her saw what was going on within me. And she pretty much just put her hand on my chest and she said in Spanish, I'm going to pray for you because whatever it is that you're battling, quédate tranquila, be relaxed because you're safe here. She didn't even know what was going on with me. She didn't even know why I was showing up there. To her, I just broke up with my relationship. We're in a fight and that's it. But I showed up at her doorstep and was like, hey, I'm coming back home. Now, bid you, this was after 2 weeks of living in my car. Because when I first left him, I didn't want anybody to know because I didn't know what to say or do because I'm pregnant now and I'm leaving. And I was falling into the stereotype that everyone was giving me. Oh, you're pregnant and you're doing it alone. So I left and I lived in my car for 2 weeks. If anybody saw my documentary or has heard any of my speakings, when I left, I lived in my car for 2 weeks because I had no idea how to face my family. I was embarrassed. So I literally would go to my job with two huge trash bags in the back seat. And I would go to work early in the morning and brush my teeth and put on my perfume. And I was already dressed. My clothes were wrinkled. I was already dressed, put on my deodorant and sat down and that was it. At lunchtime, I would go to grandmom's to eat. After work, I would go to grandmom's house to eat for dinner. And then I would find a corner that had enough light that I knew I would be safe and I would sleep in my car. And every time I think back to that, I'm just like, you see that in movies, you see that in shows, and people talk about it, and you're like, wow, I could never. And it humbles me because that was me for 2 weeks, just parking on different corners. And when I found one that I thought was the safest, I stayed there because I was terrified to face my family. And then it got bad. Like, you can't live in your car. Like, people are dangerous. So I finally went home, and my grandmother had no idea and just pretty much, tranquilate, que aquí tú estás segura, where everything's going to be fine. And just with her words, I was at ease. Not only because I was with her and she was my biggest, cheerleader, but because I knew being with her and surrounded by family, no matter whether they knew the truth or not, I was going to be okay. And that's pretty much how it went. Every day was difficult because he was calling my phone, he was calling my job, but it got easier as time went on because I had my family there. I had them surrounding me. And, sooner or later, they did find out what happened.
You know what's the best? Grandmothers.
Yeah.
They're the best, and you have that angel that even while she was here, and now you still have her as your angel. So that's definitely a blessing.
My biggest blessing at that time.
We have one question from Margie.
Okay.
What was the difference from the first time to the last time when you finally said enough? What was the trigger that forced you to leave and never come back?
So, wow, there's so many. So the first time I left, I would say was in the first year of him hitting me. The first time he hit me, he maybe hit me 3 or 4 times. The one that made me leave was one New Year's. He had been gone all day. I had been calling him. I knew where he was. He wouldn't come home. So I was calling and calling. And I knew that after me calling, he would be super upset. So I put a blockade on my bedroom door. I moved an entire dresser against the door because I was scared of how he would hurt me when he came in. I put a dresser, I put a bunch of things, and I went to sleep that New Year's. I woke up at 3 in the morning with him choking me. In my mind, I'm like, how the hell did he get through the dresser and everything else? The next day I left. What was the difference? That was in the second year of our relationship, and I was still very much under his spell, if you would say. I was still scared of him. I was still worried that he would make truth on all of the promises he made to hurt my family. And I left because I knew I needed to, but I returned because I was fearful of what was going to happen to my family and all the people he threatened to hurt. What was the difference in the end? I knew that it was all manipulation by that point. And I knew that if I left, he wasn't hurting anyone. He wasn't going to go to jail for this. He wasn't going to put himself in a situation where it would get worse. Now, years later, I look back and I think to myself, wow, that was pretty bold of me to do, because in my mind, I thought, he's not going to do that. Those were all just tactics to keep me there. But, looking back on a lot of DV relationships now, I think to myself, he could have actually went through with his words and found me and killed me. And I thank God every day that that wasn't the case. But the difference was, at the beginning, I was very manipulated and scared. And, the next time around, I just felt like it doesn't matter. I got to go whether he comes after me or not.
I'm going to go into the second one. Sorry, I'm just trying to do a couple things behind as well. So I'm going to go to the next one.
I am safe. I am safe. Deep breath. Take a deep breath. Hi. I'm alright. I'm okay. No. It's okay. Take a deep breath.
It's 8:38. I am absolutely sure that nothing can separate me from God's love, nor death, nor life, nor fears for today, or worries about tomorrow.
Amen. Amen. Deep breath. I am safe. I am safe. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. So please don't take my sunshine away. I am safe. I am safe.
I am safe.
I am safe.
I am safe.
I know that hits you.
Yeah,
I saw your face. I saw your tears.
I'm
I know
breathing
that
through.
you, having a beautiful daughter that you have, and you raised her by yourself. And I know that you went through this whole process focusing on her. But what does that video bring back to you?
Um, so I a bunch of things in that video, right? The first thing it kind of gives me is why I call my daughter my saving grace. Everybody that's followed me for the past 4 years, and anytime I've done anything, I refer to Alina as my saving grace for a lot of different reasons, a lot of different things that happened throughout the time. But looking at it, I think it reminds me of the strength that she gave me. So we talk about when I left that last time, but then I gave birth to her and a whole other whirlwind of things happened. And the last time I got hit and I said I'll never be hit again was because of my daughter. And I've said this so many times. People who watch me already know that the last time that I was hit was when my daughter was 3 years old and I was knocked out cold in front of her at a friend's home. And when I woke up after being blacked out, the first thing I saw, and I say this, and I guess everybody could repeat it verbatim, I woke up to my daughter talking to the police officers. And my 3-year-old was telling the police officers what she had seen and that she witnessed when daddy hit mommy and threw the phone so that mommy couldn't call anybody. And that was the last time in my entire life or existence with this relationship that I ever let that man touch me again. And that was because of my daughter. So that is a huge part of why I call her my saving grace, because she was such a big part of it. But another reason why it chokes me up and it makes me feel that way for so many reasons, it brings up so many things. But I think the biggest thing is that I'm so grateful to God that after that time, I did cut those ties, because then I didn't have to be that person comforting my daughter after this happened, being there and telling her I'm safe and reassuring her that I'm safe. Right? That's my second. But my third, and why I cry so much, is because my daughter's older now. Obviously, she's going to be 16 and she's a lot more conscious of what's going on and everything that's happened. And even though physically she's no longer seen anyone put their hands on me, she has seen a lot of people emotionally and mentally abuse me. And seeing that video just hits ground, because as an adult, those are not the words that I use with her anymore. I'm safe, but I'm constantly during these older years telling her, I'm okay. I'm okay. Just reassuring her that I'm fine when she's old enough to understand that I'm not fine. So that video touches home in so many ways, because we want to shield our kids and we want them to know that we're okay. But sometimes we're not okay. And I'm glad that she no longer can see the physical, and she's no longer watched a man hit me or hurt me physically where she's terrified. But it does break my heart to know that at some point she was able to see a lot of other types of abuse and witness them now that she's older and understands.
And this just prepares her. This prepares her because you having the organization and just knowing that she sees you as that example, and you're helping others, and you're really pushing forward. Um, and we're gonna continue making mistakes. We're gonna continue making mistakes, but it's just how we get out of it. How do we how do we push ourselves? How determined are we, and how strong we think that we really aren't, and we really aren't. That's one of the major things, and that she has that example, and that's her mother. That's amazing. Going to that next one.
Sometimes it takes certain things falling apart for better things to fall into place. Sometimes it takes losing what you're settling for to remind you of what you truly deserve. Sometimes it takes the most uncomfortable paths to lead your life to the most beautiful place. I know it's hard, but you'll never see the purpose of the storm until you see the growth it produced. You'll never see the purpose of someone leaving your life until you see what's best for your life. You'll never understand why you're going through what you're going through until you see the strength, the power, the growth that it built inside of you. I want you to understand this and believe this, Annie. Your current situation is not your final destination.
Absolutely amazing. Um, I'd give you a little bit of a. So I went through a little something last year, and it was something that I thought that it bothered. It was something that I didn't think that I would. You never think that you would go through, and then all of a sudden you have to really push yourself. You have to make sure that you. I'm big on prayer. I'm big on prayer. I'm big on focusing on the bigger picture. But at the same time, you get those moments that you just become so weak. You become very vulnerable. You become very sad. You become. It's like a little bit of everything. A little bit of all these emotions are happening, and I really focused a lot on reading, on prayer, on
Mhm.
really focusing on myself. Um, and I did not know. Actually, I did not know how strong I was. And it's just there's those. there's those moments, those challenges. I'm not going to say tests, but it's really those challenges that just to see how strong you are.
Mhm.
And it has basically helped me out even to today. That challenge of last year helped me out even to grow.
Mhm.
Um, in the midst of everything that was happening, I didn't even notice that how much I was actually growing.
Yeah.
So work wise, I grew even more. Um, Tolerance, patience, um, and actually saying no. When it was like, you know how you get those moments of just always saying yes to everybody. You want to say yes. You don't want to look bad.
Every day.
So you don't want to look bad, and you're always like, yeah, yeah, I'll do it, or yeah, I can help you, or yes, I can help you, or anything and everything. And that's exactly what was hurting me, and I didn't know that was actually hurting me. Um, and then now that when you focus and you look at it, you're like, yeah, I did say no, and you know what? I'm okay with saying no.
Yeah.
It's not healthy. It's not that I'm not Superman. I can't do everything. Um, and there's those moments that even when I speak to you, or like let's say when we do stuff and I'm over here like, and you're like, it's okay.
Mhm.
And I love that from you, because it's like you even know you had to say no, at moments that when it comes to you can't,
Mhm.
and it's just you become a little bit more resilient. You become a little bit more uh, open-minded with things that just happen, daily things that just happen. Um, I'm gonna switch it around, and so when you and listen very closely with this one. This one. I don't even know if I can repeat this one. Um, when your challenges of with Alina, your challenges with the domestic violence, how has that molded you today? As in, what characteristics have you seen today that you did not see before? So everything positive, just positive characteristics that you see that have molded you to Christina Vega today.
Yeah. A lot. I resonate with that video because he says stuff like going through that, you understand later on. So people think you think you should have gotten beat up. Like, really? And I'm like, I don't think that I deserved it. And I don't think that I should have. But that was a lesson that helped me be who I am now. I'm a lot more outspoken. I'm a lot more resilient. I'm a lot more of like vocal of how I feel. And like, I don't care if you don't like it, I'm going to say what I feel. I stand up for myself more than I ever did in the past. Like, I'm just a whole lot stronger than I was. If I look at a picture of myself in 2002 and I look at a picture of myself in 2022, I'm totally different. That's 20 years difference. I'm a totally different person. Um, Funny thing is, I was looking through a box of pictures last night. Found so many old pictures. Now, I mean 20, 30 years ago old. And my sister, I'm sorry, my daughter, I left her a pile of some of those pictures on top of, she has the flu, so she was home today. So I left all those pictures on top of there. Just a few, just for her to see things. I left her pictures of her with her siblings when she was little, pictures of her on the day that she was born, pictures of her with my grandmother, pictures of her with her father, picture, and there was one picture with myself and her father. And people are like, "You still have pictures?" I had pictures. I didn't realize I did. I found this box and was like, "Oh, I have pictures." Um, and I didn't like quickly throw it away or anything like that because that's not where I'm not in that bitter place anymore. So I left it for her to see it because we're not together, but I still would like her to see this is where you came from.
Mhm.
And right before I got on the show, maybe like 10 minutes, she was sitting at the table over there and she said, she was showing her friend the picture. Look, this is my parents back then. And she was like, Mom, oh. And I'm like, what? She goes, you look totally different. And I was like, yeah, because I was a totally different person back then. And she was like, you look like totally different. And I was like, yeah, my hair. And she goes, no, your smile on your face is different. And I was like, yeah, because it was fake. That's not, it wasn't a real sentiment. I had more
Unhealthy
fear in my
relationship.
heart. Huh?
I said an unhealthy relationship.
Yeah, I had more fear in my heart than happiness. So yeah, I looked different to her. But, you know, to sum that question up and answer it, I'm sorry I went off, was I'm stronger. I'm a lot more resilient. My word is more powerful to me, and I'm not as fearful anymore as I used to be. Back then I was scared of my own shadow. I'm not that person anymore. I speak out in front of crowds like, come on. Back then I would be like, no, hide me behind a curtain. Like, I don't want to talk to anyone. And now put me in front of anyone and I'm fine because I don't hold the same fears that I used to before. So had I not gone through that, I would still be the same Christina that I was back then.
You said put you in front of anyone?
Anyone?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what you said?
Yeah.
I've done this before to you. I'm going to put you right in front of yourself.
Oh, here we go.
Because again, you have quite a new followers that have come to Love Shouldn't Hurt. Having yourself directly right in front of you, what would you say to that person again that needs those encouraging words? And you are talking to your old Christina, but this Christina now is talking to your old. So what encouraging words do you have for her?
It's going to sound not encouraging at the beginning, but it is. So I think of it. Have you ever seen The Time Traveler's Wife?
Yes.
Great movie. So he comes back and they have a series now too. I don't know if you've seen the series, but in this short series, he's talking to the younger version of him and he's yelling at him. And the kid is like, why are you telling me? He's like, listen, shut up. I've been there already. I'm going to tell you what to do. So I kind of feel like that's me now. You know, I was scared. So I probably, the Chrissy now talking to that Chrissy would be like, listen, Christina, shut up and listen to what I have to say. You are going to grow from this. You're going to learn so much from this. You're going to be a way better person and you are stronger than you believe yourself to be. You're going to get past this. You're going to get past today. No matter how many times you cry, no matter how many times you leave, it's going to end with such a better story. Stay strong, stay the path, and stay with your faith. It's going to be okay. You're going to get out of here. Because I think back then, that's what I needed. And unfortunately, I was so scared to tell anyone that I had no one. But that's what I needed. I needed someone to be like, listen, chick, shut up. Listen to me. I am taking your hand and we are leaving and you're going to make it out of here. I didn't have that and that's what I needed. So if I had to go back today and talk to Chrissy, I would tell her that. Shut the hell up and let's go. I'm pulling you out of here. You're going to be fine.
Listen, Linda.
Listen. Linda's my sister. So listen, Chrissy.
So, Christina, guess what?
What?
We're
way past the
40.
half mark.
So do what you do.
We're way past the half point, folks. But what we normally do is remind all of those who are watching while we are here, please reach out to the National Domestic Violence Hotline if you are anywhere in the world and you need any help from domestic violence. 1-800-799-7233. You can reach us temporarily at loveshouldnothurt.com. But if we do not receive those messages or get back to you within a timely fashion, please reach out to us on all of our social media platforms or call that number immediately. Remember that you can call 911 and order a pizza because the people on the other line are trained individuals who will help you through your situation.
All right. So we're going to go through a couple of videos because I noticed that we've gone through 4. And with our long list, and we have...
A million.
It's your show. You can do whatever you want. So.
That's true. I say that all the time.
So I'm going to go to the next video.
If the narcissist was honest, this is what they would say to you. I only pay you compliments to lower your guard. I need time. Time to fill your head with all the things you want to hear. I'll never love you, but I'll act like I do to get what I want from you. Deep down inside, you know I'm wrong, but the words I say and my act are so good that you ignore your intuition, even when I slip up. Now I've got you right where I need you to be, ignoring what you know is best for you and always making excuses for me.
What did you notice when you were going through it? Did you feel those empty words, empty promises?
I did, but you know what? Back then, my physical abuse that I experienced back then did not feel the same as the abuse that followed with the many narcissists that I dated after, right? And it's funny, not funny, but I recently was driving to work and I heard someone on the radio station say, women, it looks like this year you learned the meaning of narcissist, but I hope you also learned the meaning of crazy, right? And it says that so many women call every behavior that a man does now narcissist. Like it's the big thing. You're a narcissist. You're a narcissist. And I heard that in my previous relationships. Oh, you're using a big word, narcissist. You must have just learned that, is what I always would get, right? Empty promises and treatment from a narcissist is what I dealt with thereafter. So my abuse was physical abuse, my very first form of domestic violence, which was terrible. But honestly, as surprising as it seems, the relationships after that were emotional and narcissistic were worse than that. Because like we say many times, the words, the empty promises, the manipulation, the downsizing of who I am as a person, that hurts worse than hitting me. Because in reality, you can hit me and I can have a black eye, but that'll go away in a few days. But if you mentally are in my head, as they say, they're in your head, that lasts forever. And the effects of that abuse are so long lasting that you feel like you're forever abused because you're carrying around that person's words. So did I hear empty promises and all the above? Absolutely. What he just said, speaking in the third person, is exactly what I most recently dealt with, my most recent breakup, because I feel like that's exactly what they did. They gave me empty promises just to keep me there. They made me feel good sometimes just to make sure that I didn't stop dealing with them. So I think that those are some of the red flags and trigger signs that some women should look out for, because I think that more than anything, the physical abuse is my goodness, every 3 minutes another woman is beat up, right? But the mental and emotional abuse is consistent, like constantly happening. So those are things that I think that women and men should educate themselves on. What is a narcissist? Truly know the definition of it so that you do not end up or fall into those systematic, like just happenings in your new relationships, because they're easier to fall into than the physical abuse. It's very easy to fall for a narcissist because they are very charming.
And how do you feel that you do now? How do you do now with relationships after your domestic abuse?
So I'm constantly saying that even though I wear this like fake crown, right, for domestic violence, it doesn't mean that I have lived a perfect life, right? Because some people, let's be real, there's some people who have watched my show who don't have the best intentions. And I've had people bash me and say, but she was in a relationship where he manipulated her, and she was in a relationship where he constantly cheated on her, and she's phony. I'm not phony, because I'm always on here saying I'm very transparent. It's even a lesson that I've taught my daughter when she said, "Mom, why do you always end up with these bad men? Why don't you ever end up with a good man?" And I always tell her, you don't know that at the beginning. Everybody seems amazing at the beginning, So I'll say from the last relationship that I left, because I'll be honest, I've dealt with it up until recent of my life. Within the past few years, I've dealt with very bad relationships. So I'll say that the way that I deal with it now is just keeping up a healthy guard, being able to give myself some time to just say, we're not going to rush into this relationship. I want to learn who you really are instead of rushing into this relationship and not knowing who I'm dealing with. Because as stated, everyone seems amazing at the beginning. Unfortunately, I learned that those, as they, my friends call it, those representatives, sooner or later they get tired of being representatives and their true selves show themselves. So my way of dating now is just saying, I'm going to take my time. And a lot of things that I've told a lot of people is you don't have to jump into another relationship. Stay by yourself. Get to know you. Get to know what makes you happy so that you can be content on your own and you don't need to feel like I need that person to make me happy, because when you don't need that person, you just have them as a benefit to your life. And I don't mean benefit like I'm using you, but I just want you to be a part of my life to make me happy because all else I got. I think that's where everyone should be. Woman, man, whatever you are. You shouldn't need a relationship to complete you. You should need a relationship to say, I want to share my life with someone, because I should be able to say, I got me. I don't need you to have me, type of thing. So that's
And
my outlook on
unfortunately,
relationships now.
a lot of the relationships, um, even if it's not domestic abuse, um, sometimes it's just the connection.
Hmm.
There's no connection. There's
Hmm.
just there's just and it becomes even harder to for a person that if that person just said, uh, and maybe I look at it, and maybe I'm looking at it wrong, and you can help me out on here. I know somebody that has stayed in a relationship because she can't, she's not working
Hmm.
because the partner said, "Don't work, just
Hmm.
stay home," but not in a "you better stay home," nothing like
Yeah.
that. But then there's those moments of not there's no connection, there's no love, there's no feeling,
Hmm.
there's nothing there, and then it's like, you know what, I want to get out of this, but I can't because I don't have anything.
Yeah.
And it's a shame. It's really a shame, and I know that we talked about basically women empowerment conference, and definitely 2023 we're going to go for it.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that I'm going to say men and women, but especially women need that encouragement, need that just those words,
Hmm.
those words of encouragement that is like it's just it feels great. It feels great to be wanted, feel successful,
Hmm.
um, feel that they have their life in their hands, that they're the ones managing it.
Hmm.
They're not depending on somebody else, and it's a shame because when I see how how this one relationship is, I'm like, you can still do it. It doesn't mean that you have nothing. It's gonna be it's right now. Start with getting yourself a small job, like a part time job.
Hmm.
Little by little, start saving,
Hmm.
and then just say that's it. Um, but it's a shame because you'll not feel the love. You'll feel empty, and you'll just stay just because I don't have anything.
Hmm.
So, so I'm gonna go to the next one. I'm gonna go to
You gave me a shoulder when I needed it. You showed me love when I wasn't feeling it. You helped me fight when I was giving in. And you made me laugh when I was losing it. 'Cause you are the reason why I'm still hanging on. 'Cause you are the reason why my head is still above water. And if I could, I'd get you the moon and give it to you. And if death was coming for you, I'd give my life on you. 'Cause you are the reason why I'm still hanging on. 'Cause you are the reason why my heart is still above water. And if I could, I'd get you the moon and give it to you. And if that was coming for you, I'd give my life for you. 'Cause you are, oh, you are, oh, you are.
How are you, Chrissy?
Fine. These videos all resonate with my life.
So what comes to mind?
So many different things. It always, ugh, there's so many things to unpack with just one video that has so much in it. Um, but I see so many things like, oh, I found out he was cheating, so he began to get emotionally and verbally abusive. And that's kind of like their thing, right? You know, I'm going to be good to you until you catch me in what it is that I'm doing. And then that's their way of kind of like making it your fault. So now I'm going to be abusive and verbal and make you feel bad to make you regret that you found out these things that I was doing wrong. So you're the reason why I'm doing them wrong because you found out. That's a lot of the life that I just left. I mean, I'm at peace now, but that's exactly the life that I was living. I was living with someone who would constantly cheat on me every single weekend with numerous women. And when I would find out, that meant that I was crazy and that meant that I was psycho and that I had head issues. Only because I found out the truth. I found out what you were doing. I found out you were living a double life, but that made me crazy and I'm mental and I have issues. And a lot of the things that was said to me was that I was a victim and that I was always going to be a victim. Oh, you're just playing victim. Nothing to do with all the pain you've put me through, but I'm a victim and I'm playing victim because I found out that you were doing things you weren't supposed to do. So it wasn't physical abuse in that nature. But if I think back, then I think of times when the first time I got hit was the first time I heard him on the phone with someone else. Speaking back to my physical abuse. And I literally just questioned who you're speaking to and why aren't you going straight to work? And that was the first time I had the plate broken over my face. So just reading her cards, it's like, I feel like I lived all of that. And it seems so long. It seems so far away. Like it was such a long time ago, but I can see videos like that. And it's like, oh yeah, that's right. That's what I lived. And it's amazing to me that I lived through it. Now that I look back on it.
Well, let's do one more video.
Sure.
We're good?
Four sentences that will make you rethink your life. Number one, happiness is not the absence of problems. It's the ability to deal with them. Number two, feeling sad after making a decision doesn't mean it was the wrong decision. Number three, you're not stressed because you're doing too much. You're stressed because you're doing too little of what makes you feel most alive. And number four, the lesson you struggle with will repeat itself until you learn from it.
Ain't that the truth? I feel that especially when I don't learn, it does come back. And it's like, bruh, you're gonna learn today. And I'm over here like, yo, why does this feel familiar? No shit. Of course. Because I haven't learned.
That's
And
how
guess
your
what?
lessons are
It's
taught.
gonna come back like, you, I'm back. We're gonna learn it some way, somehow. And I'm over here like, all right, what did I do before? It's like Groundhog Day. Like, but it's just once you're going through it again, there's those moments that I talk to myself as in like, come on, dude, you you know that you went through this. You know that you're supposed to be uh, better focused on this. We've come a long way, and you're gonna let this repeat itself again. And it's
Right.
just, and I have those moments like and I don't know if you catch yourself that you're like, hold on, and but it's the feel of it repeating itself,
Hmm.
and I feel it. And then it said about doing stuff, doing not doing too little, but doing things that make you alive, come alive. And that's one of the things that I think I regret the most is that. So I'm an introvert. I'm a homebody. If I can be home, I will be home. There's those people that love to go out. Let's go dancing. Let's do this, and I'm the like, I'll dance at home. Like I have no problem.
That's me drinking my tea.
And that's exactly how I am. And it's I can find happiness even just literally just in my living room, just chilling. Um, and I guess it's because I made you have to make your place that safe haven, that place that you feel so com so comfortable. Focus on your place. Focus on your house and make it come alive. So that's exactly why like when you put up the tree, it's that remembrance of home. It's your home, and you're at your you're in your comfort zone. Well, you should be in your comfort zone when you're home.
Home should be your happy place,
Definitely.
but it's not always.
But what I can say that I have been doing a little more has been more reading,
Hmm.
more talking to talking to other humans. Because I'm just not very well at that. And I tend to just lay back at times, and but it's just really more traveling. I would say that is actually what I need to do. Something that makes me happy is just to basically and I love to cook. If anybody knows me, I love to cook. In the kitchen, I'm creative. I'm over here trying to be myself,
He can cook. He can
and
cook.
I cook good. Um, and it's just there's some things that stress me out in the kitchen. I can't make pasteles, right? But no, I can. So my mom has been not doing so well, because she just got a surgery done, and she's in the recuperation stage. And
Hmm.
but this time, guess what? Ray had to make pasteles because mom was the one that was always making pasteles. So I was like, yo, this is work. So I definitely it was out of my comfort zone. And just doing it, it was just like, you know what, this is everything that mom goes through. And I didn't really notice it. Like I would help her, but I didn't know the preparation that's really behind it. So it's work, and
It
it
is.
was just, but then I had a moment that I was like, literally like just thinking about old times, family times, those moments that it looked like a full like lineup of how to make doing the process of making pasteles, and it was just like, wow, like you appreciate more, you appreciate those that you love more,
Hmm.
and especially when it comes to the holidays, you tend to miss, you tend
Yeah.
to appreciate, and then you value it.
Yeah.
You really value those moments that are all about family, and it's
Yeah.
those with the loved ones. So it's just do things that are sometimes out of your comfort zone. Um,
Yeah.
this right now is out
He
of my
hates
comfort
it.
zone.
He hates
I
it.
cannot stand this. And it's funny because I'm looking at. the screen, but I'm looking at you. So I'm not looking directly at a camera. I'm looking at Chrissy, and it's just I'm having a good conversation, with
Because I'm home.
he was like, and I'm not. um, so, but it's just get out of your comfort zone, and that's gonna make you come alive. Um, you're gonna probably learn something new from about yourself.
Absolutely.
So, Cristina Maria Vega.
It's that time. It's already an hour in. It's
So,
time for our final thoughts.
so should I? You know what? I'm gonna start,
Yes, because I have announcements.
and then you have a good amount of announcements.
Yes.
So, Cristina, I'm gonna put you to the back, and I'll be right back. So you can
Okie
step.
dokie.
Hey guys, it was a pleasure of having this moment with Christina and everyone. All I'm going to tell you is that love yourself. Make sure that you are constantly just throwing flowers at yourself. Appreciate, learn, talk, read, um, and just simply just love yourself. Just love yourself. Um, know when to say no. Uh, know to just things that don't make you comfortable. Know that you will always have help. Everything has a solution. Love shouldn't hurt. I'm going to be really honest. I did not know really about domestic violence until I was talking to Chrissy. I did not know what we were getting into. It was coming into. They went to do a documentary, and I did not know what was going on. I'm gonna really be honest. I did not know. I just thought that it was just like Chrissy has some type of recording, and I'm just giving her the space and learning about it, um, being behind the scenes on everything, um, knowing how people get affected by domestic violence, um, and people that feel that cannot get out of it, people that feel that they're stuck. You're not stuck. You're not stuck. Chrissy, uh, Jackie, Zulma, Marilyn, and so many other amazing women are prime examples of that you can get out of this. That there's better. There is an actual light at the end of the tunnel, but it's taking that first step of wanting to better yourself. Um, and it's just this holiday season. Be about family. Be about friends. Be about you. Be about anything and everything that makes you happy. Um, it's just overall, you get one chance to be you. Make it make it an amazing moment. Make an amazing chance to really uplift yourself. And if you feel that you're okay, uplift someone else. Make sure that you're in there saying, "Hey, haven't heard from you for in a little while. How are you doing?" Um, but overall, I'm thankful. I'm thankful for life. I'm thankful for so many blessings. Um, and but I'm very thankful for being part of Love Shouldn't Hurt, and how much that they have grown. Christina has been an amazing leader, um, and I just feel that when Love Shouldn't Hurt does its conference, be there. Anything and everything that she needs helping, I'm gonna be there. So love you, be you, and you're gonna be super happy. And now I bring back Cristina Vega. So Cristina, I want
Thank
to go to the
you.
back.
Okay. Thank you, folks who are watching. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, so Facebook is not on right now, but we still kept going because I know that we have YouTube people watching, and we wanted to make sure that we recorded and you were able to view later on for our Facebook folks who were thrown off. We apologize for those technical difficulties. Thank you for that person who was watching. I see you. We appreciate you so much. I know that there were comments that we did not get to. So for all of those folks who we were unable to get to, I will respond to you individually through Facebook, and we will make sure that we deal with those technical difficulties next week when we bring you another live show. As you can see at the bottom of the screen, it says donate now, Cash App. That is our Cash App, and that is the easiest way that you can donate to us right now if it so touches your heart. We will be posting the flyer the next few days, and you will see it until the middle of December. For those who do not know, every year we provide um, gifts and presents and different donations to families that we have relocated. This year, we have 4 amazing families that were relocated with a lot of different children. There it is, our holiday gift drive. And on there, and I will post the flyer on social media, you will see that we have Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo. For those who feel like, I don't like to go out and shop, I don't like to go out and buy presents, you can certainly send your monetary donations through those 3 social media platforms, monetary platforms, so that we can go out and buy the presents. But if you feel it upon your heart and you say, hey, I want to go out and buy these gifts myself, we have 4 families that you can adopt. Please contact me. Please inbox me on any of our social media and say, hey, Christina, I would love to adopt one of the families, or whatever it is that you want to do. Maybe you want to know the sizes of each of the children and you just want to give to, some of the kids, whatever it is. We have 4 amazing families. We have mothers, we have fathers, we have children, we have infants. And we like to do what we do every year and give them a great and amazing Christmas. So you can do it quickly through Cash App at LSH Philly, or you can do it through our PayPal, through our Venmo, whatever you feel most comfortable with. Inbox me if you would like the information for our families. We will absolutely continue this drive until December 20th. We want to make sure that we have enough time to collect all the donations as well as the gifts so that we can wrap them and make sure that they are delivered to our families. We also want to remind you, because the tickets are now live once again on Eventbrite, our gala is in less than 3.5 months. March 18, 2023, we will be at the Waterfall Room off of Southampton Road, Becca's Catering. We are super, super excited. We have had donations come in, and we have had our sponsors begin to start tumbling in. So we are super excited. This is going to be an amazing event. This is our 3rd annual Love Gala. If you went to the first 2, it was magnificent, and we hope to bring the same thing this year. Remember that it is a survivors honorable gala. We are honoring all of our survivors who have gotten through this terrible time in their lives. We will have amazing award recipients. We will have music by DJ Dro himself. Our after party will be at Islas Latin Cuisine, and we will have a number of awardees to give awards to this year. So please come out. If you're interested in finding out information for a table, you can contact me directly, but please go on over to Eventbrite and begin to buy your tickets so that we can have yet again another amazing time with all of you. I appreciate you guys for watching, for being a part of our show. Next week, we're going to have another good show at 7 p.m. live. We hope to have some new faces. We have a lot of people who have continued to ask us to come and be a part of our show. So we're hoping that we have no technical difficulties next week with Facebook, but join us again at 7 p.m. live. And to all of you who are watching, a reminder, if you or someone you love is dealing with domestic violence, have them reach out to the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233. Thank you, guys.
Christina,
I was waiting. I'm like, what happened?
I know. I was waiting for you to say, and I'm going to bring back Ray.
Oh,
Yo,
go back
you have
out.
to
I'll do it
treat
again.
me.
No, I'm
You gotta
joking.
treat me like that. You gotta treat me like,
I'm sorry. Guys, he's back, but I was going to say, Ray, come on back so we can say goodbye together. Don't
There
cry,
you go. I
Nico.
was waiting for those words.
I'm sorry.
I was like, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. No, todavía.
Go back. I'll do it for you. We could do.
Oh,
He's
man.
back, guys. So we're saying bye.
No, but it was definitely a pleasure, Chrissy. Thank you so much
Thank you for all you do
the
for
invite.
me. Thanks for doing everything you do for me. You are super supportive, and I love you immensely.
Thank you so much, guys.
Have a good night, all.
Buenos nachos.
We'll see